Welcome everybody to our teleconference. My name is Dr. Perry Bard, and I'm incredibly excited that you could join us here tonight. And when I say us, what I mean is Dr. Kaplan. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he may be able to join us. He may not be able to join us. In the technology world, this is what happens. But guess what? We're going to make it great for you tonight. Okay? That's my deal. We're going to make it great for you. Not good. We'll make it great. And how do we make it great? Well, the way we make it great is, number one, we stay topical. Number two, we stay on point. And number three, we share from the heart. And then number four, we share some things with you that only you are able to get by giving us your most valuable asset. And your most valuable asset here is time. So we take your time that you spend with us very seriously, because this is a very, very special time. It's a special time in your life. It's a special time in your career. And we want to address it, obviously.
I installed Zoom and everything.
Oh,
and
listen,
I've got the video going, but
isn't
I can't
that weird?
get any audio.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have any idea where
let's
could
see.
adjust the
So
audio?
we're going to continue to mute. Oh, so you know what's wild? Obviously, when people join, they get unmuted. So forgive that doctor, because he didn't know what he was talking about. He couldn't log on to Zoom. But thank you and welcome to the show. So, listen, in the technology world, listen, as they say, right? Stuff happens, right? Yeah. Stuff happens. So let's make sure that it works well. All right. Hopefully. So listen, let's navigate through it. All right. So if I go in and out, if my voice goes in and out, if my picture goes in and out, well, guess what? It'll all be good. Trust me, it will all be good. So let's kick it off here tonight. And what I want to talk about first and foremost is a word that, in essence, you were familiar with, I was familiar with, but if you want to talk about a word that is moved to the front of the line, that word is essential. And when I say essential, what I mean is this. When I say essential, obviously, in many states, your business, your practice is being termed essential, or unfortunately, believe it or not, even in some states, it is considered non-essential. Now, that blows my mind, and it should blow your mind. And I'm going to be very frank with you. Obviously, if you're here tonight, you're going to get it unedited. You're going to get it uncut. You're going to get it unrehearsed. You're going to get it unscripted. And you may not agree with everything we say, but I have a feeling most of you will. And what I will tell you is this. What if I told you that this week, for the first time ever in my career, 33 years in this business. You think that's a long time? How about Dr. Kaplan? He's been in this business for 40 years.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Here I am, baby.
But I can't see you. So
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but it's okay. But the great news is we can hear you. So talk a little bit more. Let me make sure I can hear you.
It just came out of it. Oh my God. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and but we can't see you. But it's okay, because you know why? Because
I know what I look like. Everyone knows everyone knows what I look like. Everyone knows what I look like.
Let's see here. Let me see here. So hopefully you can come on. I hope you can. Because I have you singled out here. I really do. Because you are special. That's what Barney says. It's Barney the purple dinosaur used to say that you are special. So let me just make sure I can hear you. You still there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect. All right. So what we're going to do is this. So how about, no, we don't want to do that. Let me see here. So yeah, for some reason, for some
Hey,
reason.
ho, ho, I see it.
Oh!
Oh, baby.
Oh!
Hold on.
Thank
Hold on.
goodness.
I'll
Thank
be back.
goodness. Wait a minute. All right. Put your clothes on. I told you it would be different. So, all right. That's beautiful. So fantastic. All right. So, getting back to exactly what we were saying. So I'm going to tell you something that in 33 years in this business, for the first time ever, I got a chance to actually feel what it felt like for doctors. I hope you're sitting down for this one. That went to prison because they were a chiropractor. Now think about this for a second. If you're in Colorado, right? Now I'm licensed in Colorado. Why do I have a license in Colorado? You say, well, gee, I thought you were in Florida. I am, but I have a license in Colorado. Why? Well, you know, many years ago, we go to Bachelor Gulch, we go to Beaver Creek, we go to Vail, we go to Aspen, we dig it. I said, this is a great place to practice. I picked up a license. I never used it. But, but what if I told you? That doctors in the state of Colorado are having issues with being able to be in the position that they worked so hard for, same just like all of you, by being essential. So in other words, for the first time ever, imagine somebody took away your right to practice. Somebody took away your right to heal. Somebody took away your right to give. Somebody took away your right to help patients that need you the most right now. Imagine that. What would you do? Well, I know what I would do. At the end of the day, I'd take, you know, listen, I'm taking one for the team here. You know what I mean? And the team is my practice, my patience, my heart, my soul, all of that and more. So I understand, but let's talk about the facts. And the facts are really simple, all right? If you want the facts, I'll give you the facts, all right? Number one, here are the facts. We're going to kick off tonight with facts. Fact number one, that this will go away. Trust me, this will go away. Trust me, it will go away, okay? Number one. Number two, things will eventually get back to normal. What I can't tell you is what eventually means. Could be 4 weeks, could be 8 weeks, could be 12 weeks, could be longer. I don't know. But eventually things will get back to normal. But there's one more fact, and here's the fact. The fact is there will be a new normal. And because there's a new normal and will be a new normal, that is the sole intent as to why we are doing this here tonight. And we're going to talk about essential, non-essential. We're going to talk about how to get paid. We're going to talk about things you should be doing for your patients right now. We're going to talk about things that you could do for your patients that maybe you've never done before. And there's nobody that I know better that knows this topic better than guess who? It is the one and only Dr. Eric Kaplan. So what I would ask you, Dr. Kaplan, is if you would, define, in your opinion, what the new normal is for chiropractors moving forward.
Well, it's very simple, Perry. There is no new normal when you really think about it. It's just a new paradigm that we're entered into. What do you think, Scotty?
I agree.
So anyway, Scotty came to join us for a little bit. He'll be back a little bit later. But what's taking place is the bottom line. You know, we were raised, Perry, we went to school, we went to chiropractic school in an environment where we talked about that the power that creates the body has the power to heal the body. So let me tell you what I think the future is gonna do, because I read on this every day, and anyone who knows me knows that you know, I live, breathe, and love research. So here's what's happening. Right now in France, in New York, there are studies and components that shows there is a viable treatment for the coronavirus, which is hydroxychloroquine. It's called a Z-Pak, and it's called actually zinc gluconate is in that component. And the studies in France, the studies out of New York, and the studies now are rapidly changing. Give you an example. In Michigan, originally, the governor of Michigan said, oh, you can't prescribe this. I will take any license away from any doctor or pharmacist that prescribes it. Yet, yesterday, the FDA came out and approved it for it. And now the governor has rescinded and saying, please send me the medication. The thing is, once the world knows that there is treatment, it will be eventually treated like the common cold. Meaning, okay, I could get the coronavirus, but as long as I go on the protocol, I will get better. And I think, like any disease, whether it be diabetes or anything else, you know, the question that I say all the time is, the world that we live in is, you know, why do we have countries that are creating viruses? You know, we need cures for cancer. We need cures for diabetes. So the new normal will be, I believe that chiropractic will take its place, because we know by the Perot study, we know by study after study that we can improve the immunity system. You know, isn't it amazing that of all the people I know, Perry, all the people I know, not saying that there's not out there, I don't know any chiropractors that have the coronavirus. Now that's an amazing thing. Now I'm sure there's somebody out there, but nobody in our universe, and nobody has a bigger universe of doctors than we do in this profession here today. And that tells me something. You know, it tells me that there is a level of immunity. So the new normal will be, yes, people will be more careful. They'll be more germophobic. But if we go back to our roots as chiropractors, explaining how a hard bone on a surf nerve will decrease your immunity and how we can improve it, I think there'll be a great chance. Give you an example. I had a conversation that it was Mike Smith. I don't know if Mike is on the line with us, Perry, because, you know, I'm doing this in a different thing. I see we're loaded, though. And Mike was telling me how he's actually out there offering free care to first responders. So he's not only treating people, he's treating first responders out there, and he's corona-free, and his practice is thriving. That's an amazing thing, because, you know, what we do is we provide a different mechanism to the germ theory. When I was in school, they said, we don't believe in the germ theory. Well, obviously, we believe in it. And another example is, everyone knows, and for those that don't, Perry, you know, 14 days ago, I was in the hospital and I had to have 2 surgeries. 14 days ago, I had my gallbladder removed. Now, what do they do after the surgery, Perry? They ask you to walk the halls because you got to get the air out. You got to breathe again. So here I am walking the halls of the thing saying, I don't want to get corona. I don't want to get corona. I don't want to get corona, my mantra. So my son, Jason Kaplan, came over my house and he adjusted me, because that's what I know. And what I know is what I believe in. You know, worry is thinking about what you don't want to happen. You know, we have to face the realities of what it is. And I think that when the dust settles, this will be a great time for chiropractors. We're not just bone movers. We're not just joint people. You know, we deal with the subluxation, we deal with the bulge, and we deal with the disc. You know, and I think that there's treatment for every one of those. And I'm excited about our future as a profession. I think it's our time to make our position, to make our stand.
I love it. And the reason that I love it is because, as always, from the heart, number one, which is always the best place to start. I don't know if a lot of you know this. Dr. Kaplan has been in my life for over 33 years. And there's a very distinct reason, because I know there's a lot of new people on tonight's teleconference, video conference, whatever you want to call it, and more. So we're going to talk tonight about PPP, all right, Paycheck Protection Program. We're going to talk about some stuff here. So we want you to hang out because we're just getting started, all right? But let's frame this the way it needs to be framed, all right? Number one, history is the greatest teacher of all in everything. And history is actually the greatest teacher to us as chiropractors. And the reason that I share that with you, doctors, is very simple. The reason I share that with you is because this has actually happened to us before. And you might say, well, hold on, you know, time out. Wait a minute. What happened to us before? this virus happened to us before? Another virus? No. This has happened to us before where there was a division, a dividing line, and an opportunity for doctors to either go left or to go right. Now, what I mean by that is this. There was a time in this profession. Let's roll the tape back so we can go back so we can take a giant leap forward here today, tonight, okay? Number one, there was, as many of you remember, if you've been around the block and you've seen this, when I came out, I graduated in 1986. I started school in 1983. I graduated in 1986 from Life College, and I was ready to hit the ground running. And let me tell you something. I was so pumped. I was so juiced. I was so excited for the future of our profession for one reason, and that was it was so easy in terms of threshold to be able for a patient to get into your office. Now, why did that happen? Well, it happened for one simple reason. Why? Because patients had abundant insurance. And what that simply meant for most chiropractors was very simple. And that is, as a chiropractor, you could basically, you can make every mistake in the world from a practice management point of view, and you could still do pretty good. Why? Because the world had, 80% of the world had 80% coverage with deductibles like $100, $250. Oh my gosh, if they had a $500 deductible, holy cow, that would be crazy, right? But then something incredible happened. And what happened when the goose, as we say, that laid the golden egg, never disappeared. She just got a lot leaner. She got a lot thinner. In some ways, maybe she got even healthier in some ways. Maybe. But the goose that laid the golden egg was no more. And what happened, unfortunately, for so many chiropractors is that their practice went like this. And it crashed, boom, and it burned. And they unfortunately, never came back from the rubble. However, there was a whole new set of chiropractors that rose. And these chiropractors were the chiropractors that became incredibly savvy, incredibly focused, and incredibly good at one word. They became good at communication. And they decided that we're going to communicate better the cash model as a specialist. So we're going to talk about being a specialist here. And one of the top ways to be a specialist, obviously, is being in the disc business. Why? Because patients have to go to orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons, pain management specialists, physiatrists. They're taking opioids. They're getting epidural injections. This is your market. It's not going away. And you have to raise your game to be able to compete in this cash-driven model based upon a higher level of communication. So I ask you, Dr. Kaplan, in your opinion, what are the best ways to be able to raise the level of communication now because of the simple fact that doctors now have to text better, email better, have to communicate via phone calls better and face-to-face and through telehealth? What would you say to doctors right now that have to raise their game in terms of communication?
Well, you know, Perry, one of the people I'm a very big fan of handles all of the Facebook for Disc Centers of America. And one of the things that I've always been very big on, Perry, is obviously, I hope everyone can see me well. But obviously, Perry, what we talk about always is the brand is bigger than the product. And people have to understand that. Michael Smith understand that. Listen, I used to see 200 people a day. That's amazing. But, I did it without things like neuropathy. I did it without things like decompression. So give me an example. Marketing chiropractic as it sits alone, you're marketing the subluxation. The problem is, what percent of Americans understand what a subluxation is? I believe we market pain. because pain is the great denominator. Give you an example. Just today, after having 2 surgeries, where did I have to go today, Perry? You know, I had to go to the dentist. Now, the last place I wanted to go to was the dentist, even without Corona. I don't want to go to the dentist. But when you have pain, people will go. Now, isn't it funny that working with Kara, that today my son got 7 leads from Facebook. 7. Why? Because people at home, like Eli Goldstein, maybe not, because Eli's a hard worker, maybe like you, McCabe, maybe like you, Dietrich, maybe like you, Carrie, but people are home, and what they're doing is they're on the internet. They're doing Facebook. What they're doing is they're going online, they're checking out the doctors, because let me tell you something about this pain. It's not going to go away. You see, we will find the treatment for the coronavirus, and we have mastered the treatment on spinal decompression. This pain is a major, major force. To me, why do I like treating disc cases? It's like a PI case without having to be an attorney's lapdog, without having to say, oh, can you send me another case? You know, proactively, we can go into a market where pain is the common denominator. And that's what I believe. And we have to do that through Facebook. We have to do that through television. I mean, we just put together a great new video, Perry, for all of our doctors. You know, and we just got a great endorsement from an orthopedic surgeon. So it's amazing what's taking place. How we have that. Bill Moyle's calling me. Bill, I don't know what you want, but I'm not answering the phone. I'm talking now. So the point is, Perry, what I'm saying is pain is the great common denominator. And I think that's a phenomenal thing, because what that's doing is that leads to our arena. Even a guy like Bruce Goldberg knows that. It's amazing that he showed up for this.
So let's talk about what transpired this week, all right? And let's talk about what some doctors are doing to live on offense, because I want you to be able to start, number one, saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And we're going to talk about here very succinctly, very exactly about what you should be doing right now. And meaning, if I'm you, this is what I'm doing. Rule number one, all right? I want all of you at the party tonight. And by the way, last week when we did this for the first time, it was my computer that crashed, by the way, not Dr. Kaplan's. It was my computer. And he carried on, which was phenomenal. So number one, write this down. Go grab a pad. Go grab a piece of paper. And I want you to write this down right now. You ready? I'm going to give you an email address. And there's a very important reason, which you're about to see why I'm giving this to you. I'm going to give you our direct email address, and you're going to see why in a sec. I want you to write this down. It is new, N-E-W, patient, P-A-T-I-E-N-T-N-O-W, new patient now at AOL.com. New patient now at AOL.com. Now, why did we just give that to you? Okay, here's the reason why. So last week, some of you were on, but a lot of you weren't. And it was don't feel bad, because it was the first time we ever did it. And the feedback was so incredible. And we were so blown away by like how much you were digging this, that I said, you know what? I asked Dr. Kaplan, are you into doing it again Thursday night? He said, absolutely, whatever it takes. That is his mantra, W-E-I-T, whatever it takes. And that is, you know, that's one of the beautiful things about this. So in telling you that, there was a letter that we gave away last week, and it was a letter called the Relationship Builder Letter. And it should be sent out to every one of your patients, absolutely ASAP. If you already got the letter, thank you for thanking us, because it's from the heart, and your appreciation is so appreciated, because you guys were like, you didn't even have to thank us, but you went nuts, and it was our gift to you. So here's the deal. If you want the letter, the COVID-19 Relationship Builder Letter, hit us up at newpatientnow@AOL.com. There's nothing for sale here tonight. So if you're sitting here and you're waiting, oh, they're going to sell something, sorry to disappoint, but it's not happening tonight, all right? I'm just giving you cool stuff, all right? That's number one. Number two, here was an amazing thing also for our doctors this week, which you know, right? I mean, you were pretty blown away by that. My email box blew up because we did a video. It's pretty wild, right? We did a video that we gave away, right, to our doctors, that we commissioned an amazing videographer who put this together, and the docs were blown away. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because we want you doctors, we want you to start raising your game by number one. If it's me, I'm in my practice tomorrow, and I've got an Excel spreadsheet of every email address, every cell phone number, every home address. I am so all over that. I am like white on rice, as they used to say, with respect to the simple fact that that becomes my new play sheet. That's my new playbook. And now I'm going to timeline a series of communication tools that we're going to talk about here
I'm going to be on
as well. And one of the things about it was of the simple fact that, you know, obviously that there are doctors right now that get the big idea. And the big idea is we want you on offense here, obviously. So one of the things that we're going to show here is, and Dr. K, I would love for you to be able to talk about this, is there was another letter that was put together by an orthopedic surgeon this week. And if you could, I would love for you to talk about this.
You know, if anyone ever read the book Sun Tzu, it said, when you first attack from the front, if that doesn't work, attack from the back. If you attack from the back and that doesn't work, try to go up the middle. If that doesn't work, then you need to infiltrate and divide. Chiropractors, for whatever reason, early on, you know, we have been in a situation. Do you still have me, Perry?
Yeah, I do. I want to show something. Tell me if you see this here.
I see mountains.
How about now?
I see new patient now at AOL.com.
All right, beautiful. So write that down, all the doctors, because that's where you get access to some of the things we're talking about tonight. But can you talk about this? Can you see that?
I can see it.
Beautiful.
Great job, Doc.
Perfect. Can you talk about that? That would be awesome.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that Perry and I, listen, you know, what Perry and I said, what are we selling tonight? You know, we're not selling anything. And in the letter that nobody really has ran further with than Michael Smith, who's one of my favorite people of all time, has 4 clinics. He's very economically set, but he's so committed to chiropractic, even at a time, you know, where he recently lost his wife, and he's still out there just loving and giving and serving and taking care of first responders. And you see, because these are the people, the veterans of the people. So what we've done is, because people think that This Is America is just for chiropractors. No, we have medical doctors in our universe. We deal with the International Medical Advisory Board on spinal decompression. We deal with orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Glenn Zook, who is doctor for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, we're dealing with medical people all the time. So one of the people that we have, because we're trying to get our doctors into veterans. Why? Because the VA people need help now more than ever. So we have an orthopedic surgeon who's a client of ours, and her name is Dr. Sarah Knife Chief. And basically, out of the state of Oklahoma, where there's a great study that I'll discuss as well. And she wrote the letter that you see, recommending This Is America doctors. Why? Because President Trump put into a proclamation on a veterans book that we gave out, that I'm sure if anyone wants the veterans book, we will give it to you. But now our doctors will not only know how to utilize an entry, because every veterans clinic must now have 2 chiropractors. The situation becomes that not every veterans clinic offers spinal decompression because they don't have the equipment. So that's a way, even if they have their 2 doctors, for you to get referrals by the veterans. So this is a letter from a retired major who served in the military as an orthopedic surgeon for 9 years. You know, who states, you know, and I read it out loud, this Centers of America doctors are considered the most trained in this treatment. It is for this reason I would highly recommend any DCOA doctor to the VA. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a must and should be part of the VA regimen in treating spinal injuries, disease, or pain. I am the firm belief they can assist your great team in redoing unnecessary surgeries and eliminating potentially addictive medications. Now, this is phenomenal because remember, people, I've spoken in detail with Dr. Dyer, I've spoken to you with Dr. Shealy, but now we're getting the medical profession to endorse the work that we're doing on DISC. Remember, the brand is bigger than the product. Most people still don't know what chiropractic is. Now's the time to educate them on the subluxation, you know, which is why I wrote the book, Awaken the Wellness Within, where we talk about there's one disease and there's only two causes. And now that you know that, what we have done is we put together a letter, and it starts the letter with what Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what you get, and you make a life by what you give. So I ask you, doctors, are you living in fear? Do you fear the unknown? Do you fear the future? But here's what I'm going to tell you. That's not going to change tomorrow, because tomorrow will only come tomorrow. What you must do is be proactive today. You must love your patients. You must embrace your patients. You can email all your patients. Like I said, today alone, with the help of Kara, imagine my son got 6 leads from Facebook. Now, like a farmer who plants seeds, yes, you got to work these leads. But the fact is, people are sitting home and their back hurts. They're in pain. They're not saying, oh, you know what? I'm subluxated. I better call the chiropractor. But if they have sciatica, they'll call. If they have paresthesia, they'll call. If they're having headaches, they'll call. This is a time for chiropractic to make our stand as primary healthcare providers in the world today as we know it. Because see, basically, that's the position that we're in. And I'm asking you, doctors, you know, what are you doing? I have one doctor, by the way, Wendy, I see that you're on. Give me a call. I have some exciting news for you. You can call me tomorrow, but you know, who's killing it, you know, in her state of Tennessee. Very proud of you, Wendy. Give me a call tomorrow. I have some exciting news for you. So the point is, you know, doctors that are on the proactive position, Perry, they're thriving. Michael Smith was telling me today, he's thriving. Okay, you know, and then you have guys like in places like Shane in Minnesota. Hey, Shane, you know what? I'm going to tell you, guys that read everything, that do everything, that are analytical. I'm going to tell you, there's never been a better time for chiropractic, because if people don't know what we do, now is the time to educate them what we do. And as I said, you know, if you sit back and you're going to wait, let me tell you something. What are you waiting for?
So there's something that I want the doctors to watch. And if you email us, gift number 2 is one of the doctors actually that's, believe it or not, and isn't it amazing how we talk about this again, life is such a full circle. We talked last week, it was very funny, about a telehealth webinar by a doctor that was actually featured in the Dr. Success Spotlight book. Well, guess what? There's another webinar that I would love for you guys to watch. And if you email us, I'm going to send you a direct link. And I watched it yesterday and it was fantastic. And it was actually done by one of the doctors featured in the Dr. Success Spotlight book. And that is a webinar done by a doctor who many of you know, and his name is Dr. Miles Bodson. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Miles Bodson is a chiropractor who created something called the cash practice. So what he did yesterday was he gave a very deliberate, very exacting, and really a very powerful webinar on PPP. And for those of you who don't know, PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program, meaning how you doctors can go to the bank and start just filling out the forms, in essence, online, so you could start getting some checks in the door So you could start covering your staff. You could start taking care. Yeah, obviously, listen, nobody wants to let their staff be on a hiatus. These people are just as committed as you. Yet at the same time, I never wanted a staff member of mine to ever feel like they had to be there. And trust me when I tell you, I mean, I had 29 checks going out with my name on it every week, meaning I had 29 employees at one time. One time, I was feeding 29 families at one time. And the reason I say that to you is because I would never want you doctors to be in a position where if a staff member says, you know what, I need to stay home, that's perfect, that's fine. However, there's a lot of staff people that want to be with you. And I love the doctors that have taken their chiropractic table and put their tables outside of their office and are absolutely showing patients exactly how hygienic and how antiseptic and how incredible they are taking this, and to make the patients feel safe. Don't you love that 4-letter word? It's one of my new favorite 4-letter words, S-A-F-E, safe. I want your patients to feel safe. So if you email us, I'm going to send you a direct link to Dr. Botson's webinar on PPP, which will put money in your hands, which will put checks in your hands, which will cover you potentially for the next 30, 60, 90 days, potentially. But this is information you need to plug and play right away. And I love that it came from him because, believe me, this is not, I know it almost sounds like I'm selling him, right? Well, guess what? I believe in a doctor that helps doctors get paid. And so much so that we put him in the Doctor Success Spotlight book. Dr. Miles Bodson, I'll send you that webinar. It was absolutely fantastic. And how do you like those 3 letters, right? Up to last week, you never heard of those 3 letters before, right? PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. Simple, easy, and he did a whole like Q&A on it. So email us. I will get you that webinar link as well. And so what I would love to do is I would love to be able to share with our audience a little bit about why if you're not in the disc business or the neuropathy business or even the joint business, the shoulder business, the knee business, that this is the business that allows you as chiropractors to be, in essence, a specialist. And now, without insurance, to be able, imagine, to be able to provide care for patients that are looking at laminectomies, looking at spinal fusions, looking at metal in their back, looking at epidural injections, taking Vicodin, taking Percocet, taking oxycodone, and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And here you are as a specialist, because the reason we love you as a specialist is because it raises your status, it raises your celebrity, it raises your importance with regard to your value as a chiropractor. So what I would love, if you would be so kind, Dr. K, is to share why now more than ever, being a specialist is so in vogue right now, and how this in essence really morphs into the playing field that exists over the next 30, 60 days.
You know, it's funny, Perry, because I was hoping you'd ask me that question. I get a call today from, and I'll give you the name. I mean, Dr. Bruce Burns out of the state of New York. And who does he get a referral from today, Perry? An orthopedic surgeon. Because he had a patient who he did laminectomies on months ago, 6 months ago, and the patient's not doing well. And he says, I know that you're a disc specialist. I know that you guys can do things that we can't do. Can you hear this? There's an orthopedic surgeon saying this to Dr. Burns. He said, will you take this case and do you think you can help them? I mean, that's such a major thing. You know, like when I see you, Nick, okay, and you know who I'm talking about, that's right, you can take your drink. You're not in the joint anymore, baby. I have a guy that was in the joint, okay, he's not with the joint anymore. No, he went from the joint to having 2 of his own offices. I mean, how cool is that? That's you, Nick. I'm not going to give your last name because I don't want to say that I'm prejudiced against Italian. But the point is, imagine getting a call today, a doctor, and he texts me, and we looked at the MRIs, and it's not contraindicated, you know, and we went through the protocol, and he's conversing with the orthopedic surgeon because the orthopedic surgeon is looking at him as a disc specialist. You know, the days of us being quacks are over. I mean, we have clinics, you know, some of the biggest clinics in the United States. We have clinics that have 30,000 square feet. We have clinics with 12 tables. Dr. Carrie Gurgis, one of my favorite people. I mean, you talk about beautiful, God-fearing people, him and Sally, that are blessed by God, that have adopted a bunch of children. You know, Carrie, who drove an ambulance at one time, Perry, you know, and was ready to leave the profession. Now he has 9 decompression tables. Not 1, but 9. And guess what? In Columbus, Ohio, orthopedists and neurologists can refer to him all the time because he's the disc guy. He went from a guy that was thinking about leaving the profession to now he's the disc guy that the medical profession comes to. You see, what I'm saying to you, doctors, if you're always chasing money, you're a slave. If you can teach money how to chase you, you're the master. You know, DC, Perry and I have always said it stands for Disc Chiropractor. You know, the brand of Disc Centers America has more real estate on the internet than any other company. And I think that's important because chiropractic, you know, what do most people still think of a chiropractor? When I walk around Trump all the time at the golf club, people don't say, oh, there's the chiropractor. They say there's the disc guy. Matter of fact, my son's boat, okay, he's been in practice 3.5 years. What's the name of the boat? The disc guy. Disc guy. I mean, that's who we want to be. We want to be, look at Dan Weymouth smiling. Dan, look at you in California. You're a specialist. And Bridget, I see you, you little beautiful thing. I mean, who now has multiple clinics. You know, and Mike, let me tell you, you inspire me. But Ted, right next to you is Ted Waddell. Now, Ted's an amazing guy because Ted's fighting his own little issues in life, okay? Yet he's here on the webinar. He's serving people. He's getting people well. And he's doing it through spinal decompression. Let me tell you, there's the subluxation, there's the bulge, and there's the herniation. Nobody is better qualified. We can improve immunity, and we can reduce pain. The enemy, doctors, right now might be the coronavirus, but tomorrow the enemy is an enemy that we faced before, which is opioid addiction. Tomorrow the enemy is pain. Pain will be back. We will attack and conquer the coronavirus. But this pain will be here forever. Knee pain will be here forever. We offer a non-surgical solution utilizing technologies that are utilized in major hospitals throughout the United States. We're no longer taking a back seat. You know, I consider myself, you know, like the Rosa Parks. Don't tell me where to sit in this bus. I'm going to drive this baby. I want to drive chiropractic to the top. That's what I want to do. And I believe that together, doctors, everyone that's on this call, I mean, you know, you're here for a reason. Nice glasses, Bridget, by the way. You know, even Bill Moyle, I had to send him a text, Perry, so Bill could get there with his beautiful smile. You know, and that's why I tell people, listen, for those of you who know me, you know, great. For those of you that want to learn more, get your butts down to Florida. We're going to have another event in May. You're welcome to be there. I mean, and learn to be a better doctor, not a better chiropractor. Look what Perry has behind him. Be the doctor. Okay. Now, you know who actually wrote, I think there's a book on that written by Fred Barge, you know, and it talks about being the doctor. Hey, Perry, come on, baby. We're not so far isolated. But you see, that's what it is because, you know, Dr. Barge understood. And we have to take the philosophy, the art and the science. And I've reverted the situation where science and art and philosophy, but now is our time to take a stand in a position as primary healthcare providers in the world today. Ms. Viscusi, you got to take off the mask if you want to kiss your husband, just for the record. He has no problems. I've already corona tested him, muscle tested him while we were talking, so don't worry. Go ahead, Per.
You know, for I don't know if you got a chance last week, but at the end, if you get a chance, you can go on our YouTube channel and you can watch it. I literally fell off my chair. My abs were hurting. If you watch the end of what Dr. Kaplan did, it was I don't even want to tell you. I don't want to, just go watch it is what we did. Now we're gonna have some fun with this. All right. So a couple of things. Number one, we're gonna unmute some of you. All right. So you're gonna get a chance to kind of interact a little bit here tonight. But what I would suggest is this: for those of you that we can unmute, if you want to go in the chat box right now, and if you have a question, Dr. K and or I, if we have time tonight, will address your question. So go into the chat box. We'll unmute some of you so we can get a little ping pong going if we have time, and we'll do that. All right. So let's recap a little bit before we move on. All right. Number one, what's the email address? newpatientnow@aol.com. Why? Well, if you request it, and just say, I want that. That's all you have to do is 3 words. I want that. And what we'll do is we'll send you the COVID-19 relationship builder letter, number 1. Number 2, I'll send you a direct link to the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program, so you can get reimbursed. And I will give you the link directly to Dr. Miles Botson. It's a free training. So none of this costs you anything, okay? So I will give you a direct link for that. And that's number 2. And if you hang out a little bit more, you may dig number 3. But what I wanted to share with you first and foremost is this, before we start to, kind of get into it a little bit, and we'll try to unmute some of you. This could be a little crazy. So strap on, hold on. I don't know where it's going to go, but let me tell you this. I don't know if you're like me, but if anything, if this time has taught you anything, the way it's taught me this. It's taught me that above all, above down, above inside out, you've heard it before, that at the end of the day, your own immunity is vital. It's crucial. It's the determinant factor as to how high you can soar as a doctor, as a husband, as a father, as a friend, and more. So I cannot overstate this more than I am about to state it right now. And that is what I want you to do, doctors. Because remember, it's not about 100 things. We can give you 100 things. We can give you a lot more than 100 things. But to me and Dr. K, it's about 3 great things. So let me give you 3 things right now that I've been doing, and I hope you do this, okay? Because it's, for me, and listen, I'm a skeptic, man. I'm the ultimate skeptic. You got to prove to me something works through and through before I sign up for it. That's just me. Hey, listen, that's just how I was ingrained. I think that happens to anybody who comes from BKLYN. And for those who don't know, you add a few vowels in there and it rhymes with Brooklyn. I'm just a skeptic. Got to prove to me something works. But I'll tell you something. If I believe in something, I'm all in. I'm not 50-50. I'm all or nothing. So what I've been doing this week, a couple of simple things. This is going to look like a promo, but I'm going to tell you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? I've been drinking alkaline water. And the reason I've been drinking alkaline water is, I'm not going to give you a long a long narrative on this. All I'm just going to tell you is this. Your pH balance is so vital and so crucial for your own immunity. So this water happens to come. I order it by the case, and it's already on back order because they've been swamped, and it comes from the volcanoes, basically the wells next to the volcanoes in Hawaii. And it's delicious, but it's a special pH balance, and it is alkaline water. Yes, you'll pay a little bit more, but guess what? Just like you, doctor, it's worth it. Patients will always pay you more because of perception of value. And then what do you have to do? You got to just simply over-deliver. That's simply over-deliver. So what I would suggest is get your hands on some alkaline water, start drinking it. It will increase your immunity. Trust me, this is about taking care of you now. I need you. I can't say this any more from my heart. I need you guys to get stronger. I need you guys and gals to build your own immunity so you can be not just the role model for your patients. So what else do you need to do? 3 vitamins. This is it. You got to start taking more C. You got to start taking more D. You got to start taking more zinc. That's it. C, D, and zinc. I can go into it. I could do 100 hours on this, and Dr. Kaplan could probably do 1,000 hours. We're not doing that. What we're doing is go out, start taking these vitamins, and be true to it. Raise your immunity. The third thing that I've done, and this has been mind-blowing, boom, I'm telling you, because let me tell you something. You don't think I'm you get in your groove, you get in your zone, and obviously, you kind of stay locked and loaded. I got online, and from a company called Breville, I bought a juicer. And all I do all day is I juice celery and kale and spinach and green apples. And let me tell you, it's delicious. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel better. I want you to do those 3 things, because if you do those 3 things, I can give you 100 things, not doing it. I'm giving you 3 things because they work for me. And I'm so excited because I not only feel the difference, I want you doctors to be able to do this. Now, here's an interesting thing. Spoke with one of our doctors this week who, believe it or not, is doing this with all his patients. So what is he doing? Well, he actually sells something that you can buy to be able to make your water at home alkaline. Now, a lot of you doctors already knew about this. That's cool, but guess what? Could it be an income source for you? Of course, but that's not the main reason to do it. The main reason to do it is because it's going to make your patients healthier, and it gives them an opportunity to communicate with you and to turn them on to alkaline water. And if you email us at newpatientnow@aol.com, I'll send you the link to that doctor if you want it. I'm not going to send it to you unless you ask for it, but I'll send it to you because he's one of our family of doctors. He's an awesome doctor. He's been with us for many years. He runs a thriving practice in New Jersey, and he was just so excited with sharing it with me. And I was saying, you know what? Guess what? I've been on alkaline water for the past month, and I feel fantastic. Dr. K, would you talk about a little bit, because you have such an extensive nutrition background, about ways that you can increase your immunity? Because especially if anyone's been challenged over the past 2 weeks in terms of immunity, it was you, brother. Can you share with our doctors personally what you're doing to increase your immunity?
Can you see me better now?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Do you see Scotty? Hey. You know, it's an amazing thing. You know, don't be a dummy. Don't be a dummy. Be a chiropractor. And the amazing thing about that is, what I love and adore is, you know, I always talk about the 4 ACEs. A, C, E, you know, I mean, are very important. Selenium is very important, but, you know, zinc is so important in this component. And, you know, what we've done, Perry, is, you know, all disease survives in an acid environment. And what people have to understand is that alkaline is an offset of what we have for disease. So what we need to do is I've always said there's 3 ways to lead. 1 is by example, 2 is by example, and 3 is by example. Doctors, don't just talk the talk. It's time to walk the walk. It's time to go out there and show people. You know, one of the things that I've always said about Perry Bard is he's my muse. Perry works out more than I do. Perry eats better than I do. But you know what? He pushes me. I want you to get this juicer. Listen, I'm having chicken parmesan tonight with linguine with garlic and oil. I mean, why? Because I think garlic is one of the great things to kill viruses. I was raised on that. Viscusi, you know that. Come on, Viscusi. I believe in that. And these are the things, you know, I wrote a book called Awaken the Wellness Within. I say there's only one disease, and that's cytopathology, meaning, doctors, if every cell in your body is healthy, then you are healthy. There's only 2 causes of disease. Either the cells are toxic or the cells are deficient. It's our job as chiropractors to realize whether the cells are toxic or deficient. Example, a smoker will have bronchitis. If he has too much acid, he'll have gastritis. Okay, now we know deficiency. If you don't have vitamin C, you can develop scurvy. So we have to find out as doctors See, I'm in the cellular business, not in the subluxation business. Subluxation is a kinesiopathology that I treat, but I'm in the cellular business. So if there's one disease, cytopathology, because of the trillion cells are healthy, you're healthy. If they're toxic, you got to remove the toxin. If they're deficient, you got to remove the deficient. Even with the coronavirus, they came out with a study from Andrew Weil, Cornell University, and the doctor said, even face-to-face contact, the chance of getting it is 0.5%, meaning, you know, that's why, even though we have a lot of people with the coronavirus, why doesn't everybody have the coronavirus? You know, we have people that we might know that have the coronavirus. And Perry gets to the point when he talks about immunity. The stronger your immunity is, you know, the less chance that you have of contacting any virus. You know, and listen, we're in the immunity business. The Perot study said that. Dr. Sinigla, who did work, you know, I got that from Mike. He gave Michael Smith a great endorsement when he read the letter that we're giving to you guys for free. So what are we selling tonight, doctors? We're selling chiropractic. I'm not here telling you, you know, buy this or buy that. You know, I believe in This Says America. I think you should come to the event. I think that we as a profession needs to rally around each other. You know, I always used to say about chiropractors, Perry, chiropractors circle the wagon and shoot at each other's. Well, you know what, guys? Our best friends are in this room right now. You know, our best friends are the people that understand what we do and why we do it. You know, chiropractic, you know, we always used to say, did you choose chiropractic or did chiropractic choose you? You know, when I look at a guy, Eli, and I know you're there, and I always joke with Eli because Eli has more money than God. And you know, if God needed a loan, he'd probably go to Eli Goldstein. And Eli, and I say to you, and here you are on a Thursday evening on a webinar trying to better yourself. And how can you not dig that, you know, about like a Michael Smith, about a Sifra, Dr. Ferrigno from California. I mean, you know, Salem, even you, right? I'll speak slower for you, but I know that you understand what I'm saying. I love when successful people like Dan and Shane and Wendy are out there saying, how can I better educate the masses? Because the masses really are who we treat. You know, are we doctors that are playing a chiropractic, or are we specialists? And I believe that we're specialists. You know, is it, you know, when I'm in the medical world, which I was in, and you realize how much they don't know, how much is trial and error. And then I realized the confidence that we have when we take a hold of somebody's neck. And I realized the confidence that we have, you know, that when we adjust somebody. And I don't think I've ever gotten an adjustment and I haven't gotten off the table and I haven't said, you know what? Something just happened. Something just happened. And in life, doctors, there's three types of people. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that say, what happened? What are you? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be tomorrow? Whose life are you going to change tomorrow? Don't worry about changing your own life. That you have already chosen your destiny. But you know what? There are people out there that are lost. There are the people out there that are looking for leadership. Give me an example. I don't care if you're religious or not religious. Why do people go to church every Sunday? Why does Joel Osteen get 19,000 people every Sunday? It's not like he says, oh, I have a new commandment. I just got an email from God. No, he's there giving faith. Isn't that what we were raised on? Faith, confidence, and belief. So my message to you, doctors, is three things. Have faith in what you do. Have confidence in yourself as a doctor, and have belief in chiropractic.
Are you hitting it back over the fence now?
Exactly.
That was that, you know. So we're gonna do two more things here tonight. All right, but let's recap again. All right, new patient now at AOL.com. If you want the COVID-19 relationship builder letter, happy to send that to you. Number one. Number two, the Paycheck Protection Program webinar direct link, Number two. And actually, I'm getting emails and I'm getting stuff from thanks, Dr. Caputo, obviously, of course. I didn't know that water thing would resonate so much. If you want that water information, why do I dig this? Let me tell you why I dig this, all right? Now, if you know anything about us, you know one thing, and that you knew that for the length of this journey, for Dr. K and myself, we were all about one thing, and that was how many more people can we turn on to what you do, to what we do as chiropractors. In other words, how many more patients can I see as a chiropractor? That's it. That was my mission statement. So our focal point, our job, our purpose, our passion, our mission, our goal, our desire, our focus, and our love was based in one thing. And that was to lower the threshold so patients get a chance to see you, to see us. How did we do that? Holy cow, 30 years ago, we did something called Palm Beach Massage. Wow, what a concept. In other words, before Massage Envy, before Elements, before Massage Heights, before Hand and Stone, I just named 4, Massage Lux, I just named 5 franchise massage businesses. Why? Well, because we knew through Palm Beach Massage, we could lower the threshold to get patients into a front door, to get patients into a reception area, to get traffic people bodies, to be able to get a chance to tell them the story. And you know what I'm talking about when I say the story. Well, guess what? That same opportunity presents right now. Maybe not kinesthetically, maybe not by hand, but by telehealth, by an email, by a phone call. I had one of our doctors this week. I said to him, I said, listen, I'm on the phone. I have my staff. I'll outsource this if I have to. Call every single patient in my database and simply ask them how they're doing. How they're doing. Every single one of my patients would be called. I don't care if you've been there, you haven't been in my office for 20 years, you're getting a phone call. If you're like Mike Smith, who we want to unmute, who we will unmute, if you want to come in, Mike, then, you know, when you got mega thousands of patients there, you have to do this. So what I would love, 2 quick things before we go, all right, which is this, all right? We have another gift for you, all right? And this is a cool gift, if I could show it to you. And what I would love is, Dr. K, if you could speak a little bit about this gift, if I can bring it up, about why the urgency and why the importance of this. If I can bring it up, I'm going to try, because if I can bring it up, we're going to make it available for free to everybody for just being here tonight. It's really cool. And then after that, what we'll do is I'll unmute and we'll do some Q&A if we have time, and that'll be pretty awesome. But let's see if I can do this here and see, yes. And tell me if you see this. Well, you see this, but can you see that? Dr. K, yeah. Can you speak a little bit about this incredible book you put together, which, if the doctors want it here tonight, talk about the timeliness of this book, if you could.
Well, the timeliness of the book is, you know, that President Trump signed a proclamation that mandates that every veterans facility has to provide at least 2 chiropractors on staff. And it's also possible that a veteran can request your care if the veterans facility is not actually near them. And what this booklet does is it shows you how to get access to veterans. And let me tell you something, for those that you do decompression, it pays for, okay, it pays for decompression. VA pays for spinal decompression using the code S9090. So we put together this booklet. And what he showed prior to the booklet, that we have an endorsement from Dr. Sarah Knife Chief, a retired major, that now you doctors, when you contact the veterans, the doctors that are our clients, like you, Nick, like you, Ed Buenadonna, like you, Nick Viscusi, you know, you can utilize this letter. Why? Because what we are doing always is building the brand. You know, chiropractic is what we do. The brand, you know, being the former president of Nutrisystem, I learned the power of the brand. Nobody ever called up to Nutrisystem and said, how good is the food? Well, you know what? It wasn't that good. But they never called up and said, how's the food? They knew they called with the purpose of losing weight. And when they call you, they call with the purpose of getting relief. You know, and how do you spell relief? CHIROPRACTIC. That's how I spell relief. You know, and what I'm saying is, so that veterans booklet is free to everybody out there. Why? Because listen, we're here giving to chiropractic tonight. I'm selling chiropractic tonight. You know, I'm in this business. You know, I'm 67 years young. You know, and you know what? And when Perry Bard put this together tonight, and in my mind, Perry Bard's a hero. We're not selling anything. Perry said, I want to do this. We need to help our doctors. We need to motivate our doctors. We need to inspire doctors. And we didn't open this. Listen, I could have done this just for my own clients because Zoom only allows a certain amount of people, but not Perry. Perry will do this, and he will give, and he will give, and he will give. So tonight, my hero is Dr. Perry Bard. And because he's out there, they're giving to doctors out there. For those of you that don't know us, you can call anybody. And if you want to be part of the family and you want to take your practice next level, we'll show you how. The point is, and we do it through the power of the brand by being specialists. Like Rosa Parks, doctors, I'll say it again. Don't tell me I have to sit in the back of the bus when it comes to healthcare. Don't tell me I have to just do PI and beg PI attorneys for business. I love when I send business to the personal injury people. You know, my son gets referrals from orthopedic surgeons. My son refers to PI people. I mean, that's the beauty. So when you say like, oh, it's easy for them to say they're not in the game. Listen, I'm in the game. Karen knows that. Karen knows I look at my son's numbers every day. I'm in this game every day. Why? Because a father is only as happy as his unhappiest child. My son, and I told him, I said, chiropractic, great profession, tough business, tough business. And Eli and Mike Smith, you know what I'm saying. But you know what? You chose this and you paid the price. So now's your time to go out there and tell the world who you are, tell the world what you do, and to make a difference. Because if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. If you don't do it now, so when Perry talks about alkaline water, you need to get it. When he talks about guys like Tom Caputo, great guy in New Jersey. When we talk about what we're going to give you for the veterans, get onto it. When I talk about the letter that Michael Smith, if he jumps on, Perry, great, that he's exploded with. What I'm saying to you, doctors, is, you know, now is your time. Now is your time to step up. Listen, heroes are the ones that step up in time of need. You can be a hero or a zero, a winner or a whiner. You can be, listen, if Columbus didn't understand the future, if he believed the earth was round, where would we be? If Galileo was scared of the dark, if Alexander didn't hear the bell, I mean, doctors, what are you doing? Something has to touch you. I hope tonight that we touched you. And again, my accolades to my hero tonight, Dr. Perry Bard, for putting this together for the best and the benefit of chiropractic. Thank you, Perry.
Way too kind, and but thank you, and so much more. Obviously, for so many doctors, and I'm getting private messages here. You know, obviously, you see, I'm kind of like still, I'm checking my stuff, and so I will answer your question now. Yes, the next training for doctors. In other words, there are doctors here on this training that want to come to a live event. Well, you know, good news, bad news. Okay, the bad news is it's 60 days away. The good news is it's 60 days away. And by then, the playing field will make much more sense to you. It's called the Chiro event. You want to write this website down right now. I don't know how many seats are left. That's not some kind of like, you know, false kind of like scarcity. Trust me. Every single one of them sell out. You'll see why. All you got to do is, if you look at the videos, you'll see it. They're not seminars in the classic sense, because Dr. Kaplan doesn't allow, you know, a lot of people at one time, because he wants everybody walking out. He wants everybody walking out feeling the same way that your patients need to feel, which is they were given everything and more. And that is, if you ask any doctor that's ever attended the Chiro event, I want you to go to this website. It's www.thechiro event.com. I want you to go to thechiroevent.com. See if you can grab a seat. It's May 30th. That's the date. Try to grab a seat if you can. It'll blow your mind. Trust me. It'll be the single greatest training in history. And I think you kind of know why, because these doctors are drooling for this information. They are so hungry. Well, guess what? We're going to feed you in ways that you've never been fed before. And it's incredible. Go to the Chiro event. Now, if you want that veterans book, we'll email it to you as well. You already have the email address. We gave it to you. It's newpatientnow@aol.com. And more. And then also, so just two quick things before we go, which is, if there's anyone who deserves gratitude, and then I want to go to, let me see, can we find Dr. Mike Smith here and see if we can pop him in here? Hopefully we can before we go, because I'd like to bring him into this conversation because he's been so giving to the doctors. But before we do that, if there's anyone who deserves thanks, trust me, it's the guy who has put his heart out there for 40 years. So much so that if you want to read about it, yes, featured this month, the April version. Can you see that? The April version, front and center, revolutionizing the world of non-surgical spinal decompression, a 6-page interview with Dr. Kaplan, and a little bit from myself too, but him laying it out, sharing the love, sharing the good, sharing the story, sharing the truth, and why this is so vital, this is so crucial, and this is so important for you. And what an honor it really is, because as you know, they don't put people on the cover anymore. But if there was ever anyone who deserved to be on the cover of this magazine, it was Dr. Kaplan. It's an amazing story. Look in your box. It should be hitting this week. And it's pretty incredible. So I hope you get your hands on it and you can read more about it. And then let me see here if I can find Dr. Smith. Let's see if, oh, there you are. Okay, so let's see if this works. And hopefully, there we go. Are you on, Dr. Mike?
I am on.
Yes. All right. So we want to thank you, number one, for sharing with us here, taking time absolutely out of your busy day. But the reality is, last time I checked, you don't punch a clock. And what I would love for you to do, I know you don't have a lot of time, but if you could share with our doctors some of the things that you're doing. And for those who don't know, Dr. Smith is part of our family. When I say part of our family, if you look here and say, gee, you know, Dr. Kaplan, he seems to know all these doctors. Well, guess what? Because these doctors are Dissenters of America doctors. They're part of the Concierge's Coaches family. Not for weeks, not for months, but for years. So it's such an honor, especially somebody like Dr. Smith, who has one of the busiest practices in the country, the most DDG sign I've ever seen in my life. DDG, if you don't know what that means, stands for Drop Dead Gorgeous. And Dr. Mike, would you be so kind to share with our audience what you've been doing to raise your game in a way that you've never done before, but if there was ever a time for it, it's right now.
Yes. Well, let's start off with the letter that Dr. Kaplan sent, and I know you had a part in that. What I did is I have several doctors in each office, and I changed the letter a little bit so it would a little bit more customized for our practices. But what I did is we had a Zoom meeting like this with all of our offices, with all doctors, all staff. It was done to build the leadership of each doctor, and we had each doctor read a paragraph. Well, there's probably around 30 paragraphs in that letter, and it caused the doctor to first read it and understand the research and how chiropractic builds the immunity. It is the same thing what you said earlier, is that there's probably no doctors of chiropractic with the coronavirus. And certainly not if they've been adjusted properly and have the right health habits. So we had to rally the doctors make sure that they understood that, and then also the staff. Because when I went with the concept of we're going to be also assisting the true heroes in the health delivery system, the first responders in this coronavirus, the staff were freaking out that they would be exposed to it as well. And to quell that, I had to explain to the patient, or excuse me, explain to the staff that you know, you're not going to get sick, and if you do, you just know that this thing is way overblown out of proportion. There is a cure for it, and the fact of the matter is, a month from now, 2 months, whatever it is, it's going to be completely behind us. Everything's going to go back to what you're saying. It's a new normal. I say it's an incredible opportunity, and to see that opportunity through, you actually have to take care of the real heroes. You have to be part of it. So there's a lot of chiropractors in our town that are, I know in Pensacola, we're the only office open, and I think there's probably 30 or 40 chiropractors there. So we decided we were going to offer it for the emergency room doctors and urgent care and the nurses treatment. So we're giving no charge for their examination and x-rays, and we're giving them 3 treatments. And my prediction is once you give them a fair adjustment 3 times, that's going to impact their life in the way that we all know it's impacted our lives. They'll also, and if you remember that forever, I mean, they'll never forget that. But of course, it's difficult if you don't have the staff that's behind, you know, the doctor. So one of the things we make sure is every staff member is getting adjusted every day. Make sure they all are wearing their orthotics, taking their vitamins. And truth be told is, you know, I had to have several staff meetings to make sure that they were solid. What's going to come out of this is our staff members are more solid than they've ever been. Always getting adjusted. The doctors leading their teams better. But more than that is I made sure that they understood that, you know, getting up in the morning wasn't the first thing they needed to do is grab their cell phone and start getting on social media and so forth. The first thing to do is to get down on your hands and knees and look at what you're grateful for. And that was one of the ways that I was getting the fear out of our staff is you can't be in fear if you're being grateful for what you have. So that was a big key, is getting our staff focused on what they're grateful for. By the way, most of them were grateful for the job that they had. That was a big thing. They were also grateful for the leadership that I was providing for them, but what I was really doing is teaching them how to be their own hero. So I was actually calling my doctors out for being the heroes that they are here taking care of it. There is a risk for being in the office, but I also pointed out that, you know, when someone joins the National Guard and all that, they get the benefits of free college education and whatever benefits. I said, but when there's a crisis, you can't run and hide. You're there. You can't play to be a soldier. You have to be a real soldier. I said, so when everyone's here in healthcare, this is not a job. This is not to make money. This is to serve. So everyone here, your purpose is to serve. And I said, so if you're grateful for why you're here, you will be here. And a month from now or 2 months from now, your life will be completely different and better than it was now. I said, if you're not grateful, that you won't be here and you'll probably be bankrupt or having some serious financial difficulties. I said, but we're lucky that we're called upon to serve. And with that being said, I think that's really helped our office. And I know 3 months from now, our office is going to be better than it's ever been. I know from all the first responders in the emergency room, we're also providing care, and we're just starting this. So I don't want to leave the impression that, you know, we've been doing this for the full, 3 weeks since this has been going on. We're just starting this. So you'll all have to watch and see how this plays out. So I know this, I'm on, a platform, but my belief and my vision is that 3 months from now, after we've treated who knows how many medical doctors, but I've already made up a pamphlet that we've done, and it says that we're treating all the nurses and doctors and first responders, to include paramedics and police, sheriffs, and state troopers. And my purpose is to get those doctors and those nurses, paramedics, and law enforcement in as patients, or for sure know that we're there with the other heroes. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm the hero. It's my team, it's the hero. They're all the heroes. So every policeman they see, they're going to give them a pamphlet that says, you can come in for this visits. We're doing, it boosts the immune system. And just about every one of those first responders, every one of them has back pain. Who knows that to be the truth? Every one of them. They're under stress. So, you know, some of them might not come in. In fact, maybe more than half won't. But they're going to say, you know what? If you got to see a chiropractor, they'll send them to our office because we were there at the right time. But we're doing it for the right reason, to make sure that we can impact the communities with great chiropractic care, professional care. So with that, I'm really excited to see what happens when this is over with, because I want to have the impact now. And yes, my staff knows we're in the quote unquote danger zone. And they weren't settled with it to begin with, but they are now. They're very settled with it because they know. I think Dr. Kaplan pointed this out. This is going to be over with. There is a cure for this, so that put them at ease. As soon as we got them grateful, then in fact, this is what I did. This is something everyone might want to consider doing, and I learned this from Tony Robbins. And by the way, Tony Robbins did this morning. He's going to do it tomorrow, and by the way, he did it yesterday. That is, when he first gets up in the morning, this is what I share with my staff. He spends the first 3 minutes of his day in gratitude, what he's grateful for every day, first thing.
What?
The next 3 minutes, he spends it in prayer.
Oh,
Next 3 minutes, what are my outcomes of the day? That is the key for, I think, directing my staff. And I've been doing that for some time now. And I can tell you, it's made an incredible improvement in my life, especially when I was going through challenges with my wife and worrying what was going to happen with her. And she was dealing with cancer. And then what I would do with myself and what would I do with my teams, and you know what would happen there. So I realized that I have a purpose, and I think when we all realize what we're grateful for, and then we pray for others, and then we realize we have to take action. It's more than just being grateful. It's more than just prayer. It's actually taking action as the composite of all that. So with that, I would say what's really given me the strength to get started in here, to get momentum, to be honest, it was Dr. Kaplan's letter, because I used that to help rally the team. So with that, I'd like to acknowledge the whole group of being synergetic. So me sharing what we're going to do, we'll find out how it works with the first responders. I think it's going to go really well. And the same thing with our patients. I'm actually lowering the financial barrier for them to come in. And I'm actually considering changing my pricing for self-pay patients. And of course, until I do that and I get the result, I won't share that, because there's nothing worse than someone's getting excited about something they haven't done yet. So I'm going to make sure I get the result before I share it with you.
Well,
with that, I'll conclude. I've probably spent enough time.
Well, Dr. Mike Smith, I have one word for anyone who knows, or anyone who's blessed enough to know Dr. Mike Smith. It's one word, 5 letters. CLASS, class. And these are the kind of, you know, this is our family. These are the doctors, the Descendants of America doctors. You'll hear me always say it. These are the best doctors in the country. The most entrepreneurial, yes, but the best doctors in the country. Yes, they are doing amazing, and they're doing it smart. They're doing it the right way. In closing, Dr. K, do you want to share some final words?
You know, the final words that I would say is, you know, listen, Michael Smith said so much. Michael's a hero. Perry, you're a hero. And doctors, you have a choice. You can be a hero or zero. You can be a lover or a loner. You can be a winner or a whiner. Now is your time to step up and to make a difference. You know, I think the greatest thing that Michael said tonight that really moved me, when he talked about people that are in the National Guard, you know, these people are called into action. Imagine people that are abroad that have to drive a tank down a street loaded with mines, and they do it because it's their duty. Well, you know, doctors, it's your duty. Like I said, I was in the hospital 14 days ago. I had to have 2 surgeries. You know, where would I have been without the dedicated doctors? My own personal internist came in every day twice a day to the hospital. This German-infested building. He came in every day because he wanted to see his friend. And what I'm saying to you, doctors, is, you know, no, you weren't brought in by the National Guard, but maybe you were brought here by God himself. I'm not being religious, but I can be spiritual. And I can say, you know what? We are heroes. We're out there. We're doing it. We don't do this just for the money. We really don't. Michael Smith, you know, has plenty of money. He has professional race cars. He has everything you'd ever want. But you know what he has? Far greater than money, he has purpose. So I ask you, doctors, tomorrow morning when you wake up, are you going to follow what Michael said with Anthony Robbins and give gratitude? Let me tell you what I give gratitude to tonight. I give gratitude to my partner who's out there educating people, because we're asking for nothing tonight. I give gratitude to the orthopedic surgeon, Sarah Knife Chief, who wrote this wonderful letter so that we can produce it. I give gratitude to every healthcare person out there in the world, every person that's in every hospital in America. And you say to yourself, hold on, if the nurses can be there, if the aides can be there, why can't you be there? And this is your time to be a hero. No, you're not in the National Guard, but you know what? You're guarding the nation. And that's the very powerful thing. So I want to take this opportunity again to say thank you, to Dr. Perry Bard for putting this together tonight, in spite of my computer failings. But to know, listen, you know what? I love my partner. I love my wife. I love my children. I love my grandchildren. I love chiropractic, and I love all of my clients. So thank you for being here tonight and sharing. Tomorrow, doctors, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a hero or a zero? Make a difference. Be a difference maker. It's a great opportunity. And the world doesn't want you. It needs you. Thank you and good night.
Pound for pound, as I've always said, the heavyweight champion of chiropractic communication, who put it out there and does it for all the right reasons. And if you don't feel that tonight, you don't have a pulse. Trust me, if you dig this and you like this, well, guess what, doctors? You ain't seen nothing yet. Grab a seat at the Chiro event, May 30th. Your mind will be completely blown, and you get a chance to hang out with this cool dude over here. And yes, you get an incredible gourmet lunch in a 5-star location. But go to www.thechiroevent.com. It will be the single greatest training of your life, needed now more than ever. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to hang with us tonight from the heart. It was awesome. You guys are awesome. We hope to see you at thechiroevent.com. You got my email if you want that stuff that we showed here tonight, our gift to you. And if you dig those gifts, grab a seat at the Chiro event. Your mind will be blown. You'll dig it. You'll love it. Your life will be forever changed because your patient's life will be changed, and you'll have the time of your life. www.thechiroevent.com. Be well.